Was it on?
Yeah, whatever.
Alright guys, Team Neil Beyond here. Gize slash the captain slash Hype Lord, and I'm here to talk about Chaos Breaker. Alright boys, we already missed our timing because Team Absolution already did this, but I guess we go on. I guess we'll start from grade 3 down, unlike Aquaforce. So we're running 4 copies of Crisis. Crisis because is a very good card on ride or on stride. Kind of class 1. Your opponent gets to choose whatever card he or she wants to lock. That's fun. After that, whenever a card or cards unlock, you can choose up to one of those cards once per turn and kill a card and draw a card. So you mitigate your kill, but you're guaranteed like a draw. So, and it's free. It's like you don't have to pay any cost. So it's pretty good. I'm running 2 copies of original Chaos Breaker Dragon. So first effect is I guess we'll talk about it's the new one then, or just the reprint. No. Okay. Limit Break 4. Whenever your opponent unlocks a card, you Soul Blast 1 Starvator unit, and then you kill it, and then you draw a card. Second effect is CB1 acts. Choose a card from your hand, drop it, and then your opponent you lock one of your opponent's cards. So in tandem, what you can do is a very good play that I tend to do a lot is ride this card, stride for glue ball, and lock your whole opponent's whole board, and then do like after it goes back to your turn or during the end phase, you basically they unlock all their cards and you just Soul Blast how many cards you draw that many cards for next turn, and you hopefully either kill them then or whatever. So I guess we're going to go to our grade 2s. So we're running 3 copies of Strange. Strange is very good because it's one thing. It's the first effect is not GB, so its effect is whenever it's placed on board. If you have a Chaos Vanguard, whenever it attacks or boosts, if your opponent cannot lock a card, you will get plus 5k. So this goes against resist, being that if you go against a deck with resist, whenever it does attack, your opponent, no matter what he or she may do, can do, if it has resist, it can't be locked. So like it's a countermeasure for that. Also, if he or she doesn't, or it has a locked board, this again would still proc the 5. It would still proc the 5k because they can't no longer lock more units. Second effect is while your opponent has a locked card, GB1, this card gets boost, and this fixes the problem that this deck has for so long, where you had no boosters whatsoever. So this card fixes that entirely by itself. So I'm running this, and surpriser, I'm also running Photons, because apparently it's either one or the other, which is stupid. Don't believe any of those people who are saying run this or this. You can run both. Both is also a good idea. So whenever this card is placed on board, if your opponent already has a locked card, you get to lock another card for free. So I see why people are saying these two are really similar, but at the same time, like they're both basically different cards. Because this card can work as a booster. It has a use after its first turn. On like wherever you place it on board, and then afterwards it becomes a booster basically. Well, this card only has a one-time use unless you have the Legion, which again not a lot of people are running the Legion, so it only has that one-time use. Next card we're going to talk about is 2 copies of this card. CB1. Your opponent gets to choose a card from his or her drop and play it on board locked, and then if he or she does, it gets plus 3k, and then another plus 3k if your opponent has 2 or more locked units. So essentially, this becomes a 15k attacker, which again is good. We're on 3 of them, sorry. And we're on 2 copies of Lepton. Lepton is basically your universe. This might be cut due to the fact of we're getting closed in the future, and this basically closed basically does what this card does. So we might have to we might eventually cut this card. So I guess this could be like another photon, and this could be another strange later. Next off, we're going to our grade 1s. We're running 4 copies of this Iron Wall, or Iron. So this card effect is regular PG effect, and then second effect, or it's including with that effect, if your opponent has 3 or more locked cards, you get a draw card. So you basically negate the cost of pitching one, which is very good. Next off, we're going to our Zinks. We're running 4 copies of Zinc. A lot of people are running 3. That's fine. I used to run 3 myself, but at this moment of time, you rely so much on Counterblast, being that like you have so many more cards that Counterblast, and running this card mitigates all that, and that's basically the reason. Soul isn't really much of an issue, again because of this card. So yeah. Next card we're gonna run is Penrose. So Penrose is basically your new strike fodder. Whenever you pitch it, and while you have a Chaos Heart, you may look at the top 7 cards, or no, it has to be Chaos Unit, right? Yes, Chaos Unit of the same name. Yeah, then you like whenever you pitch it for Arseny, which does come out during Galaxy Stargate, Chaos Universe, or Deluge. You may look at the top 7. Grab another Chaos Breaker if there is one in that stack of 7, and if you don't, you cry. Next off, we're gonna talk about 3 copies of Megaton Axe. Whenever it boosts, if your opponent has 2 or more locked cards, it gets plus 4k, and then if it hits while boosting, it gets your opponent. You choose a card from your opponent's locked cards, and you Omega Lock one of them. It's basically Volt Line, except Volt Line is not GB. So yeah. Running 1 copy of Carbon. Carbon's really good. Tutors for any grade 1. 2 board. Running 1 Dust Tail. For basically for the tech reasons of why I'm running a lot of cards I'm running. I'll tell you why later, but like know that this card's really good at the moment in the current meta. 4 heals. I'm not Starvated heals for obvious reasons. 4 Paradigm Shift, obvious reasons. You don't want to deck out. And then 8 more crits. Crits, because I like crits. I don't like draws. In like most of my decks where I already have like a lot of draw power, I don't like to add more draw power because again you deck out fast, and this deck tends to already deck out itself a lot. So next off, we're going to our grade 4s. So running 4 copies of Universe. I'll talk about Arseny whenever we do get Arseny in English. But at the moment, we're running 4 Universes, 4 Glue Balls, obviously, 2 Deluge. Trying to pick up a 3rd one, but again, 2 is fine. 1 GB8. This is what's going to replace it soon. Because I don't usually get to a moment where I'm going to run. I'm using GB8 for whatever reason. 1 copy of Amnesty Messiah to get out of those mirror matches. 2 copies of Destiny Eagle or Destiny Guardian, again for obvious reasons, because it procs with Crisis and makes Crisis really good. Drawing in your opponent's phase is really good. 1 copy of the Deity, and then 1 copy of Lakma. Lakma just got a nerf recently, being that you have to choose. So this might be changed for her, or for another Deity, or another bird. So yeah, that ends off the deck list. So we'll talk about like why Deluge is a really good card, especially in a meta where resist is now a big idea, or like anti-rejoker is now a thing. So I'll pick up all the cards that can block basically by itself. So Dust Tail, Paradigm Shifts, cards that people thought were bad, Photons, and Strikes. That's it. Okay, so all these cards do one thing in particular: lock a card. Actually, I would pick the ones that you get to choose, because that's the biggest thing. You get to choose. Your opponent gets to choose. All right. So these cards, you get to choose what card to lock. This from being the back row. This no matter what. This no matter what, and this no matter what. So what in tandem, what you do is whenever you are going into the luge, knowing that you're going to the luge, you go into the luge, right? Your opponent gets to choose whatever card. Especially if he or she is doing the resist play, you make sure that you can lock whatever you can first. So say if they have like 2 units that like say here, they have 2 units that don't have resist, but everything else does. So this like let's say like these 3 cards have resist for whatever reason. Then I would force myself to try to lock these 2 cards first. So I make sure these 2 cards are locked. Then I would activate the luge, forcing them to play over the resist cards. Because the luge's effect, you have to put it in a rear circle. And you can't play cards over locked cards. So the official ruling says that they would have to play over another circle that has another unit, being that there is no other like way to put over cards over locked cards. Unless for some reason there's an effect like that, but at the moment there isn't. So your opponent would have to force himself to play over these cards. So say like blah blah blah, they're forced to lock these 2. Then yeah, free. Like again, like that would leave them in a situation where it's not favorable to them anymore, and then you can run this card. Yeah. So this card also forces them to lock, play over a card. In this type of situation, also. So this card does what this does, except in a lower scale. So if you want to ever go on to a big turn, or if your opponent has a whole resist type of field, you go into the luge and you force them to play over cards that they don't want to play over. And then but doing that basically helps you out in the long run, because again, those are units that you won't no longer have to fear, and also you got rid of cards that basically say that they beat you. So this is how you go against set 13 and beyond, or all basically those resist decks, or decks that basically say oh, I can beat League Joker at the moment. So yeah. That's it for now. This is the current build for Chaos at the moment, and I hope you guys like it. So comment, subscribe. Team Neo Beyond signing out.